Before he died, the father called his two sons in front of him and said he wanted to divide the inheritance clearly. To Lucas, he gave the family land, 3 pickup trucks, all the houses, and more than 500 head of cattle. But when it was Ethan's turn, the father left him only the old dairy cow Daisy in the barn, and said that even though she was old, she still gave milk. Ethan froze on the spot. He couldn't believe that his brother got everything while he got nothing but an old cow that was nearly dying. While he was still full of hurt and resentment, his father handed him an old notebook and told him not to open it until after he died. And when he did, he had to read it from beginning to end. But in Ethan's eyes, it was nothing more than a beat-up notebook and an old cow. He even started to wonder if he meant nothing at all in his father's heart. But his father simply said that one day he would understand. After that, Ethan led Daisy to the run-down little cabin next to the farm, a place that looked like it could fall apart at any moment. There was barely any running water, the wiring was old, the heat worked on and off, and almost everything was lacking. On the other side, his brother lived in the big farmhouse, enjoying the air conditioning and living comfortably. The more Ethan thought about it, the more unfair it felt, and in the end, he opened the notebook his father had left behind. In it, his father wrote that if Ethan was reading those words, it meant he was already gone, and he hoped his son would not hate him or think that he favored his brother. Because when the father was young, all his own father had left him was 1 dairy cow. Back then, everyone laughed at him and said he was doomed to die poor. But the father refused to accept that fate. Every morning, he got up early, milked the cow, drove an old truck delivering fresh milk to nearby homes and small stores, and saved money little by little until he finally bought a second dairy cow. From that moment on, life slowly started getting better. The father told Ethan that he was not punishing him. He wanted him to walk the same road he had walked, so he could truly understand how hard every dollar was to earn, and how precious every reward really was. When Ethan read that, he went silent. For the first time, he realized his father did not love him less. He just wanted him to truly stand on his own. Starting the next day, Ethan milked Daisy and went door to door selling milk. But reality was far harsher than he imagined. Not only did many people refuse to buy, they laughed in his face, called him the poor loser who got nothing but 1 old dairy cow, told him to sell the cow and leave, and said he would never amount to anything in his life. Those words cut into his heart like knives, but he still gritted his teeth and kept going. Just when he felt like he could not hold on anymore, an older woman stopped him. She looked at the milk and asked how much it cost. Ethan told her it was $1 a bottle and that it was the freshest milk anywhere around. The woman gladly bought it, then encouraged him not to bow his head to anyone. She told him his father was an honest man and that he would become that kind of man too, and she told him to come back again the next day. In that moment, Ethan almost burst into tears because he had really been on the verge of giving up. A few months later, he used the money he had saved from selling milk to buy a second dairy cow. 1 more year passed, and his barn was already full of cattle. Later, when he went to buy a tractor, he happened to run into his brother Lucas. Lucas looked at Ethan, who was now well-dressed and completely transformed, and could hardly recognize him. And when he found out Ethan wanted to buy the tractor that cost $200,000, he was so shocked he could barely speak. Facing all that doubt, Ethan calmly said only one thing: that 1 old dairy cow became 2, 2 became 10, 10 became 100, and now he owned more than 10,000 head of cattle. In the end, he used his own story to tell everyone that a person's starting point never decides their final destination. As long as you are willing to work hard, keep your faith, and never give up, even the smallest beginning can turn into a life other people can only dream of.